Hello and welcome to the 126th episode of the Gochuucast. And today, more of the usual, I suppose.
The new season, I guess.
Yeah, new
Some
season.
stuff.
We're dipping our toes into some new anime that are out there, and I started something new today,
Let's
like
go.
an hour
Ooh.
ago.
Nice.
So I watched a couple of the three episodes that are out of. I'm just bringing in all the weird shit. So
Oh
this
no.
we've talked about this one before because it caused a little bit of a Twitter stir when it got announced. Um, but it's the if my wife became an elementary school one.
Oh, this one. Yeah.
Yes,
I
that
remember this.
one.
Yeah, so I watched a couple episodes of it. Um, it's, I first episode I don't know, I was like still, I don't know how to describe it. I wasn't like weirded out. It's an odd premise for sure. There's nothing inherently weird in it though. It just I wasn't particularly drawn in by the presentation of episode 1, but episode 2 made things a lot more interesting. Um I guess light spoilers for this, but so I think a lot of this is probably about the family moving on from what happened because the premise is, the mom
Yeah.
dies. And then 10 years later some girl shows up, it's like, "Yep, I'm your wife." And it's like, "What the fuck?" But before that, like their family had kind of fallen into, I guess, like the depths of despair. Basically, they did not function the same way they used to. Uh, they were just kind of like coasting through life, and she saw that, like, she wanted to check in on them. Then she saw how like terribly they were living, so she got more involved than she expected, and then now they're kind of like trying to figure out the the balance between like being family and like also leading their respective lives. But I think what makes this interesting is I thought it was going to be a lot more about maybe like the father and the daughter moving on. But episode 2 kind of changes that. So moving into spoiler territory. Um, it's the interesting thing with the mother and what she is going through. She reincarnated into a household that
Mhm.
ended up getting like divorced, and she's like actually with like an abusive parent, and so it's not like it makes for an interesting dynamic. She's trying to like spend time with her old family, but like her mom is like extremely on top of her. Like in episode 2, she went out to the aquarium with them because she thought her mom was gonna be gone all day, but her mom's plans got canceled, so she came home early. She's like, "Where were you?" Um, and she starts looking through the room and shit, and the daughter's trying to reason with her, but she like shoves her to the ground. It's like tearing up her room looking for her shit she might be hiding.
Mhm.
Um, it's very interesting dynamic that exists, and I haven't seen episode 3, so I don't know how it's going to continue to go from there. But like the mom knows in her heart, like she needs to like break things off with her family, even though she just reunited with them. But like that's why she like is struggling to do that. Like she can't tell them that she can't be with them anymore because she doesn't want to get rid of that either. Seeing it just how happy they are and how happy it makes her, and so it's an interesting dynamic right now, and I'm definitely going to continue watching. The title makes it very odd, but it's like the
No, the premise definitely
actual
sounds interesting.
yeah, the
Like,
actual content is much more interesting than you would think.
I feel like we said this when we were
yeah.
like when we've had conversations about it, where it was like I'm sure it's not as
Yeah,
weird
it's like
as
a
it's.
lot of people
Yeah.
are like defending it, like, no. Believe me,
Trust me, bro.
it's more normal than you think. But yeah, it is. I have confirmed that after 2 episodes. Um, yeah, I would say yeah, the first episode's a little too cheery, if I had to put it anyway. Like I don't feel like I was ever. I don't know. I don't feel like I was ever drawn very into the entire drama that was going on. But episode 2 did a lot better with that. Um, I guess the way I'd put it is, I feel like I've said this with a lot of animes this year, but like the tonal shift feels very sudden in a lot of ways in episode one. Like you
Yeah,
go,
I think that
yeah,
seems interesting. I actually kind of want to check it out, low key, but I have other stuff to watch. But it doesn't seem bad.
yeah. It's not like the most ambitious production of all time, but like it gets the job done.
Makes sense.
Good to know. Good to know.
So yeah, that was an interesting couple episodes. I mean, I was gonna say I'm gonna continue it, but I do that for everything I start. So
Yeah,
yeah,
you,
you
you
know,
don't drop anything.
we'll see how this
Which is
goes. But also speaking of weird things, I watched the second episode of Do Over Damsel because I'm locked into that shit.
oh my god.
Um, yeah,
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 what's
it's
our check in on that?
still weird, still weird. So there's technically like, so I mean, with following the whole villainous thing, obviously she knows like certain things that are gonna happen because she'd reincarnated. Um, but her like quote rival in love or whatever that is pining after the person she's supposed to be married to. The reason the prince is like denying her is because he has an age limit on who his fiance could be. And he set that at 14 and she's 16, so that's a no-go for him. So that's where our main male character is right now. But yeah, I don't know. This it's a watch of all time for sure. It's just it's weird, and then like it's just also not very good either. Like in the first episode they
Yeah.
kind of like hinted that like our main character was like pretty strong. Not even just hinted, like she was a very strong person in her future. But then like at 10 years old, like so they're like sailing to the main dude's country or whatever, and their boat starts getting attacked. And so she's like, I got this. She fucking like flies and then picks up the fucking boat and chucks it to port. I'm like, what the fuck? Like that was not what I was believe. Like, how did she die? How did she die in episode one? How does this person get like caught and then killed? It just doesn't make any, like, I don't know. Episode one did not prepare me for her to pick up a boat and throw it. So I just don't
Okay.
understand where that came from. I don't feel like I've been introduced properly to this world's systems.
That's for episode 3, bro. They'll explain everything copium.
In episode three, she'll like pick up a castle and throw it, and then
There
not
you go.
explain it. Yeah, I don't know. She's just her, I guess, which is like typically what happens with. I feel like a lot of the. Well, I mean, it's like how every isekai reincarnation type show goes. It's like, yep, they're him or her, and that's just how it is.
You know,
Yeah, like at least in seventh time loop or whatever, like the main character is her, but like not in the sense that like she's super overpowered. She knows she has all these skills from
What
the lives
happens?
she
Yeah.
lives. She knows what happens, so she can like do different things. In this one, it's just like, yeah, she knows everything's gonna happen, and she's fucking broken like at the exact same time. Like, yeah, okay, whatever. So yeah, I'm not particularly invested in this one. If last week was any indicator
you seem pretty
as
invested,
well.
but for like,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I can't quite see this one making my top, like, I don't know, I'm probably making like top 20 this year, top 20 anime of the year list. I just don't foresee that happening.
yeah, it didn't seem like that great. But
Yeah, it's just
I'm glad we there wasn't anything super weird that you notified us about. Last week was like a little bit crazy. Uh,
I mean, yeah, or you can only
Okay.
go so many
You can only
places
go.
for.
No, you can always go further, but yeah, some of the screenshots from last time were. Well, it was that one tweet that was just insane. But
Yeah, no,
whatever.
the only like super weird thing this week was him having revealed that, or having it revealed that he had his like fiance's age limit at 14. Like, what are we doing here?
Just okay.
Yeah, the worst part is like literally like the world they're living in. well, I mean, not that like they deny it or like don't allow it or whatever, but like other people still see it as weird. I'm so like, so why if the author is like kind of like side acknowledging that this is a really weird setup, like why did we move forward with this? Like what was the game plan?
Yeah.
It doesn't add anything to the story. Like you could have very well just shifted uh like these characters to be older in the future they were in, and then be at like a normal age when they go back. I don't know, dude. Like it's just I don't see the writing decision. I don't see the. I'm not getting the vision here. You know,
Yeah.
just anime moment. But yeah, and then another thing I started. I watched the first episode of Shangri-La Frontiers second season, and we're back. We're very back.
Does it
Uh,
peak?
it wasn't like the
It's
most
it
insane
didn't
episode
peak.
ever or anything, but like it did what I needed to do in that it showed me that despite only having like 6 months between the other 24 episodes, that we are still keeping like the same general production quality from last time, unless it completely falls apart after this episode. But episode one was a well produced episode, and I had fun, and so that's all I'm looking for from Shangri-La Frontier is I want to have fun. So yeah, I'm excited for this to be back.
Nice.
Good monkey fun. Well
We
made
love
monkey
monkey.
fun.
Monkey.
Monkey.
Let me see. What did I? Okay, so I watched a couple things this week, but mostly continuing some of the other shows. Okay, first I watched Mecha Ude episode 1. Um, I don't really have because I watched the OVA or ONA or whatever the frick it was called from
Yeah,
2018, like
it's
a few years
not that
prior.
different,
Yeah,
to
it's like
my
not that
understanding.
like the story itself. Like I was just looking for like small details. Obviously the animation is like different. But like how they introduced the characters was like more or less the same. So I'll just keep watching it. I like it. It's entertaining enough. PK watched it like 5 months before me. So, but yeah, yeah, that was good. Um, and when I watched the ONA, I liked it. So I don't think my opinion really has not changed at
A
all,
good, a good.
which is good. And then I watched episode 1 of Blue Box.
Peak.
Um,
I don't know why in my head I'm like Blue Lock. Why would you watch Blue Lock
Dude,
but not
no, oh
Blue
my god, you
Box?
have no idea. I was like I was like okay, I was like thinking
Well,
like
you need to watch Blue Box before you watch Blue Lock for the
okay,
series to make sense.
yeah. So I was like looking I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch because like I had the show in mind, right? It's like the badminton basketball, like PK likes the show. I'm gonna watch that today. Like those are like the thoughts in my head, right? And then I looked up I typed in Blue Lock and I'm like, wait, it's not Blue Lock, that's the freaking soccer anime. And I was like, it's Blue Box. Like I yeah, I got I almost watched the wrong show.
Dude
But I
was
mean, I would
he's
recognize it the
trying to
second.
look up gas, but yet almost fucking watched
Yeah,
ass.
yeah, exactly. No, yeah. So, okay, my main takeaways from Blue Box episode 1. And I'll keep watching. I know there's like the fourth episode just came out, I think, or,
Yeah, so
maybe
like the
yesterday.
JP release is like a week ahead of like the
Yeah,
Netflix
it's really
schedule,
confusing.
which is
Yeah,
stupid as fuck. But you know,
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand why you would do that because like you're just literally you're just asking people to pirate the fucking episodes, dude. Like you're just
Yeah,
asking
I
people to
guess it's
sail the
just,
seas.
yeah. So my impressions from episode 1. I'm not sure how much I'd like the story. I think it's like it's episode 1. I'm not gonna say one way or another. Nothing stood out, but the animation is actually sick. Like I don't know why, but I like. There's like two scenes in particular that like stick out of my mind. I still remember them. Well, one was like multiple scenes where it was like the basketballs rolling on the ground. Like I don't know why it just like looked so good. Like when the basketballs were rolling on the ground, like the 3D effects. I don't know like the term for it, but like it
The
just like stood
CG?
out to me. What was that?
The CG? The
Yeah, I guess it
basketballs
was
are
CG,
CG,
right?
but
I
it's
mean, I guess it
very
was
nice
CG,
CG.
but I think it's just like the lighting or like whatever they did to that, it just like looked so like smooth and good. Like I don't know why. I think it's just like it just stood out to me. There were like two or three scenes where like basketballs are rolling around and just looked so good. I know it's like a super random thing, but like it looked good.
Yeah,
And
it's
then
not
there
at
was a
all what I
scene.
thought you were gonna say.
I know.
I was prepared
And then
for
this.
like the gym like pole, like when they're it's like
Yeah.
the camera's going through the gym, and then like
Oh
maybe the
yeah.
the camera movement at the end of the episode when he's running.
No, yeah. Um, the one where he's like running back to the gym
Yeah,
after like
at the
talking
end
to
of
his
the
Yes,
mom.
in
episode or
the
whatever.
two.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, right. Like when he's running through like the neighborhood or whatever, like the camera movement basically, right? That part looks so good. Like, I like the art style. I don't know. I just like the visual aspect of it is like actually like really well made in my opinion. At least that's like it fits my taste essentially. And so yeah, that's the kind of the thing that stood out to me. The story, I don't know. It's episode 1. I'll keep watching. I really like it though. So
I
far.
mean,
I
the
mean,
I mean,
story is
it's
not like ever
yeah.
gonna be anything that's gonna blow
yeah,
your socks off. It's a rom com.
You could
For the most
probably tell
part.
me like 80% of what's gonna happen in the story,
I
and
feel like I've seen.
Just like go down like the rom com like cliche list, and you'll probably hit a
checklist, and we'll
multitude of
get
them.
there. Yeah, which is
Um.
fine. It does a lot of those cliches very well.
Mhm.
It subverts some of them, but I wouldn't say that this is going to be the most crazy series, I guess, in
Sure,
terms
sure.
of stuff like that, right?
Yeah. I uh I mean obviously there's still a few episodes for me to watch, but the yeah, again, the animation like when you think about I don't know, rom-coms or like more I guess like dialogue heavy shows. I think I mentioned this, but like the animation it's like you can argue it's not as necessary for it to stand out compared to action, but like they did a good job. So, yeah, it's a really aesthetically pleasing show. So, yeah, I'm excited to continue that. Um, and then I watched episode 2 of Dandadan, which is like still kind of weird, but I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
don't.
Yeah, episode 2 didn't help me with the weird allegations.
Well,
Oh
it's
man,
not even like the weird. Like I'm still waiting for the show to like be different than everything.
yeah,
Like to me, this is just like JJK, but like goofier, or
I do
yeah,
know
Chainsaw
like
Man, but
one
goofier.
of the big things people talk about that I see people talk about at least with Don Don is like the two main characters are really good, which I agree with,
they're kind
and
of
also like
entertaining.
their relationship to each other.
Yeah, yeah,
But we're not going to get that obviously in the first couple episodes. So
yeah.
Yeah, like I'll know my opinion of this like by the end of it, but for right now, it's like the show looks great. Uh,
Mhm.
it's definitely very like it's entertaining to watch. I haven't seen episode 3 yet that came out today, but
Yeah.
for right now, I'm just like I'm waiting for like the peak part to set in, which who knows if we even get in the first 12 episodes of this or not.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just kind of
yeah,
yeah, it's entertaining.
I'm not entirely sure. Is it two cores or just one?
Okay, I might be talking out of my ass, but I want to say I remember a leak that it's gonna be like a split core thing,
A split
or
core?
like they're
Okay.
like doing like one of those things where like the other core is like gonna be marketed as a season 2, basically. So
Okay.
we'll see what happens. I might be misremembering. It might be something else, but we'll see.
Yeah. Um so I'll keep watching that. It's entertaining. That's all I'll say about it now.
It's
How
entertaining. I like the characters.
however how it develops, we'll see. Um and then
Okay, yeah, hold on. I just looked up my source. So Dandadan TV Anime Season 2, aka Core 2, is planned to premiere in summer of 2025. So there's gonna be
okay.
like a two season little break, and then it'll be back for season 2.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah,
Um
we'll get more soon.
yeah. And then I watched ReZero episode 2. I started episode 3. I got like 2 minutes in, but then I had to do
I've
something
not yet
started
gotten to watch
today.
episode
So
2,
um
sadly.
okay. Yeah, I won't say anything, but it's a cool episode. I like it. Um I don't know. Yeah. It's good. I don't know. It's ReZero. Like it can't be that bad.
Yeah, it's ReZero.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
guessing you haven't seen episode 3, just 2.
No, I haven't seen. I literally just started it.
He
So
did.
Okay.
He did say he didn't watch episode
I,
one.
I, I
yeah,
like zoned out for a second reading
no, you're good.
the tweet I left
I
up.
just started it and then I had something to do. I started earlier today, but
Okay.
um, had to head out and then. But yeah, I'll finish it up probably. I've got like a freaking 5-6 hour car ride tomorrow, so I've already downloaded a couple shows on my phone to watch.
Yeah, just make
So
sure you don't download them in dubs unless you want to
oh,
suffer my Tony
I
Kawa
made sure
fate.
I have my sources.
Cursed to
um,
never finish Tony Kawa because of the only time I was motivated to watch it. I go to load the episode and it's in dub, and I'm like, I
that
can't
ruined
do
your
this.
experience for you.
It didn't really ruin the experience for me, but I don't think I was like mentally like ready or interested in watching that series in dub.
Okay.
And so when it happened, it was like, well, I guess I'm not watching this today.
Mhm.
Yeah. Very unfortunate, but yeah, ReZero, it's cooking. I'm ready. I'm happy.
Mhm.
It's like
Yeah.
the people were not be like the main person who's been like leaking ReZero stuff was saying, or not even just that. Like other people were like wondering after episode 1, like, oh, can we get to like season 1 levels of production? Like, dude, we have far gone past season 1.
Surpassed.
Like, I still think probably like the direction in season 1 is I mean, we're 3 fucking episodes in, who knows. I still think for right now the direction of season 1 was probably better overall, but I think it's like the consistency of the production right now is just really good, and like we haven't even gotten to like the big episodes yet, so I'm ready to see all that. I think for right now, they've done a pretty fantastic job. I'm happy to see my goat get proper treatment, because I thought it was cooked. I thought it was over when it was revealed that White Fox would be the only studio on this,
Right.
after not being the greatest studio for a wee little bit, but they proven me wrong. So I'm satisfied. I'm very excited to see all my favorite content in glorious form. But yeah.
Yeah. Those were
I'm
the.
excited to see more. That is an actual group watch that I am committed to. And of the 4 of us in that group watch, 3 of us were there at the meeting time that we had decided, and the other one it was 6 a.m. and they didn't
Yeah,
show up
organizing is
until
tough.
2-ish hours later, and we had already dispersed.
Classic.
So
Yeah,
you win
organizing
some,
stuff
you lose
across time
some.
zones hard. I don't know. Just always is.
I'm excited to see episode 2 though, just because episode 1 did a good job kind of establishing everything and giving me an idea of what we're dealing with, but I don't know a lot at the
Right.
moment either.
Yeah. Yeah. That's. Yeah. It's just.
I just
It's cool.
understand that a few of the characters that are around, I'm like, okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think episode 2 and 3 gives you a lot better like scope of what like this
Of
arc will be
what's
about.
going, yeah.
Yeah. Because like through episode 1 you get like the start of like conflict, but you don't really know like,
The why or anything.
yeah, you're just there in the middle of everything. Especially because
Yeah.
like it's definitely like the structure of very early ReZero. Like the first arc was technically, I mean, it's 3 episodes, but like 4 episodes lengthwise, because the first episode was double or whatever.
Yeah. One
So like,
thirty. So
everything
yeah.
goes very quickly there, and then like the next arc was from episode 4 to 11, so like the relatively short there as well. But obviously, like, with fucking season 2, the entire season was a single arc, and then 16 episodes of this are just going to be a whole arc. So it's difficult to be like, yeah, I watched episode 1, and now like things are starting technically, but like what they what everything is surrounding that. Like, you have no fucking clue. Yeah, I'm excited for. Like, fuck, dude. Next week is the halfway point of part one, and then once we
Yeah, that's actually
finish.
kind of crazy. I mean, I know it makes sense because the first episode was 4 episodes or whatever, but like,
Yeah.
dude, okay, so it's gonna be that, and then 5 or 4 more, so we'll be ending basically like what,
And we're expecting
end
that
of
to
November?
finish arc 5.
In 16 episodes, I mean, technically 19 if you count the first as 4, we will finish arc 5.
Okay, okay.
Not the 8. The 8 episodes is just
Mhm.
the first half, and then the other 8 will be the second half of that.
Yeah.
And then
Bro, I don't wanna wait.
God knows when we'll get the other 22, but we
Ah!
will have them.
Oh my gosh, I'm so mad. I have to wait.
It is going to be a very unfortunate break, but if it gets me peak condition, then
Yeah, okay,
I
true, true,
will
true,
take it.
right, yeah. Yeah,
I
don't
will
wanna
take it.
don't wanna rush it. Um, yeah, those are the shows I watched. I think, I know, like, the show I was watching, I mentioned last time, Delico's Nursery, that, like, had a break, and now they just released the most recent episode, just, like, episode 7, so I have to watch that, and I don't know, too many shows to catch up on for me because it was, like, previous week I was pretty busy, this week I wasn't, like, as busy, so I got some chances to watch stuff, but next week is gonna be hella busy, so I don't know. I'll see what I can do. Um, but yeah, it was good to watch, um it was good to watch Mecha Ude. That was, like, the one show I was, like, excited about just to see how it changed from the ONA that I watched earlier. So keep watching that, and then
How much has it changed? Because I've never watched the ONA. I
it's
only
like,
saw the
I mean, the
actual pilot
story is like the
episodes.
same. I actually compared it. Like, I went
I'm gonna
back to
say
the
I
ONA.
assume based on the
Yeah.
circumstance of it, it can't be that different, but
No, it's not. It's just, well, it's like, yeah, obviously there are like lines and scenes that are kind of changed, but like the overall thing is like the same. Like the overall
mhm.
starting at any point is like roughly the same. So it's not. Yeah. Um. I don't know. Yeah. It's like roughly the same. It's just
Where does the
stuff.
ONA end? I wonder if the ONA ends around where
Uh.
I
Oh, actually,
finished.
technically, the one where they like meet the dude in the, like, what's that guy's? I don't remember the name. It's the
The
dude in the
organization.
dark. Yeah, the organization, the
Yeah.
evil.
Okay, that makes
It's like
sense.
basically the
Because
same thing, right?
that's where episode 2 ends, which I watched the first 2 episodes
Okay, wait. Let me.
at
Okay, wait.
Matsuri. So if they're both like
Let
around
me
the same
make
endpoint,
sure.
that would make sense.
Okay, episode 1. Because when you say organization, I just want to make sure I got the right like guy. Like, there's. Um, sure. The Dion and. Yeah, I don't know. It's like roughly the same. Like, yeah, I'm just comparing it with the ONA right now because, yeah, I think it's like roughly the same. It's
Yeah.
just some scenes are just like different. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. It's just like there's
It's
small
a new
changes.
production. Like
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, do you remember this used to always piss me off as a kid when you would watch a show and we'd go to commercial break and they would come back from commercial break and it would play the same scene but like an
Yes,
entirely
yes,
different angle and like voice lines. The different voice lines would piss me off
yes.
because I'd be like, how are you saying something
Yeah, yeah.
different
I actually
after
do remember that.
commercial
Oh my
break?
god, it
I was like,
reminds
okay,
me of
different
Pokemon.
angle. Yeah,
Yes.
different angle, sure. But when they would
Yeah,
just have entirely
yeah.
new
I
voice lines,
remember
I'd be
that.
like, who okayed
Oh
this?
my god. Yeah. Dude, now that you're mentioning it, it's like making me mad because I keep thinking about
That's
it
what
now
it makes
in
me think
Pokemon.
of. Is Pokemon was a big offender of it
Yeah.
because it's like, yeah, it's the same content, but obviously done at an entirely different time by probably a different set of people, at least at certain stages.
Yeah. I'm just okay. Yeah. I'll I'll keep watching and see.
I think Naruto was also a fender of that, if I remember right. But
I don't know.
I
I
don't know.
remember
I just, as a kid, was always like, "Yeah, I'm not falling for it, guys. This makes no freaking sense.
yeah.
You you don't just change character
No,
lines by
yeah.
going to and from
Um
commercial."
yeah. Yeah, I was getting that part.
Actually, you reverse time in between scenes, and then they redid it. And that's why you got something different.
I'm impressed Daniel has watched anything with the fucking Dragon Ball game being out.
I put a lot of time into
Oh
that.
yeah.
I put quite a lot of time into that actually. But
I'm
Sparking
glad
Zero
it's
or whatever.
good, but it is funny that like it releasing has coincided with a lot of other anime games getting canceled instead of
Wait, what got canceled?
like the opposite. There was like a One Piece game
Oh, okay, sure.
that got canceled, and there was something else
I think it might have
that
been
was another like
Naruto.
big series. I think it was Naruto. Um, it was just funny to me because I was like, normally you'd expect the opposite when a game releases and does really well. Um, but I don't know. There was just a few random like anime games that perhaps not even related, but in the wake of was it Sparking Zero?
Yeah, Sparking Zero.
In that being good, there was a few things that got fixed
Yeah,
kind of randomly.
I have put 26 hours into it. Um, I'm currently aiming for 100% completion. Right now, I need to like finish all the. There's like in the story mode, there are like different character perspectives on the story mode, and then in those different character perspectives, you can like make choices or like let's say you win the fight in like a certain amount of time, like maybe you like change the direction of how the story goes, and so there's like what if paths you can go down. So right now I'm trying to do all that. I think I've got like 2 left to do for that, and then there's a few like niche achievements that I don't know even how to do, so I'll have to like look those up. Like I need to view 20 special finishers, and I don't know which moves and or
Have
interactions
special
create
finishers.
special finishes. So yeah, I haven't done that. And then there's a thing in the game uh called bonus battles, which is kind of like a custom battle. You kind of like you can like create your own scenarios basically. But I mean, it's a little goofy because I don't think
Yeah.
you can't like type in stuff that you want because obviously that would be chaos. And so you have to like try and like puzzle piece together like a narrative with whatever the game gives you.
Yeah, I
Uh,
feel like we talked about this back when that was first kind of shown that that was going to be a thing, but before we actually knew what that meant. Like I remember seeing stuff on Twitter of people
I
talking
don't
about
remember
that.
talking about that on the podcast at least. Because I didn't know that was gonna be in the game, so I don't remember talking
Oh,
about that.
I knew that was going to be in the game. I thought we had talked about it. Maybe not.
I don't remember.
Maybe it was
Maybe
something I
we did,
talked
and I just don't
to.
remember. I don't
Yeah,
remember
that's
ever
true.
talking about like custom battles or anything like that.
Yeah,
But
I don't
basically,
remember.
I have to go through. I need to finish like 30 of those or something. But yeah, I mean, some of them I can just like pick easy ones and beat them, I guess, because I doubt there's gonna be anything particularly interesting in there. But like some people have probably made like insanely hard ones because I've seen videos of like you'll be fighting a difficult character, but then that character heals to like maximum health like 3 times throughout the course of the fight.
Hmm.
Um,
Do the
but
characters actually like? Because I've seen a few funny clips, but like some of the characters actually like scale strength wise, right? So like there are like weak and strong characters,
oh yeah,
so to
it's like
speak.
a big thing with like the balancing of this game. I think it's balanced worse than Budokai Tenkaichi 3, but like in so there's 2 different rank modes. There's like singles and then there's DP. And in DP ranked you have 15 you know those memes where it's like you have $15 to make your team. It's
Yes.
literally just
Yes.
that but with Dragon Ball characters.
Okay, okay.
Um and so that one's like a bit more fair because if people want to beat cheese and use like the super strong characters, they have to like waste a bunch of points on them. But on the flip side of that, there's single battles, which you can pick whatever character you want, and that's what you're getting. But so like the problem is like I want to use cool characters because I'm not a wimp, right? So I don't. I mean, not that the other characters aren't cool, but like it's much cooler to use like Bardock, who's worth 4 points. The maximum is 10 points for a character, by the way. So he's worth
Mm.
4, and I using him in singles, he has the standard health is like 3 usually, but like the super strong characters have 4, and so like I'll be going into fights against like Ultra Instinct Goku, like I'm already down a health bar basically, and then I also have to fight this broken ass character at the exact same time, and so it can be like the balancing is not like there's no balance.
Yes.
There's like not even
I
a room for
just
balance.
I remember having a funny clip that was like Broly versus Mr. Satan, and
Oh
it
yeah,
had like this whole like
the anime,
animation and
yeah,
everything, and it was just did 0 damage
yeah.
basically,
So his Mr. Satan in this
which
game
makes
is like,
sense.
well,
Yeah,
yeah. So that move specifically, it's RNG. You have a percentage chance to do a lot of damage or no damage, and
I
usually it's
see.
no damage. So yeah, Mr. Satan in this game is like absolute dog shit. But like with the balancing, so you know the Cybermen, little green dudes that blow
Yep.
up Yamcha. So they are worth not a lot of points. Um, and so I went up against a team of one Mr. Satan and 4 Cybermen, because 5 characters is the max you can get. And oh my
Okay.
god. So in I think in Tenkaichi 3, they might have had 2 health bars, but for some reason, some god unknown reason, they have 3 health bars in this game. Luckily, the guy I was playing against was dog shit, and so it was like a battle of attrition. I had to kill 5 characters, 4 of which had standard health bar. Mr. Satan only has 2 bars, I think. But it took time. It took a lot of time. I was not happy about doing it because, like, you know, I'm like, surely we're done now, and then like another Cyberman would appear. I'm like, okay, well, all right. It was a lot. It was a lot,
Yeah.
but yeah, I have a lot of fun with the game. I need to get better. The game is like a lot more in depth than you'd think with like the defensive options that you have. There is a lot going on, and I don't understand any of it. And people who make videos are bad at explaining it, so I really just gotta like. I need to see if there's any extra tutorials, and if there aren't, then I need to find like a good video explaining how you do shit in this game because I know some like general options, but like I'm not gonna be able to like really like I've watched videos of like higher level people fighting. I don't need to be like the top guy, but like I'm not even gonna be able to break like I just want to be at least above average, you know. But that's
You want to
a
be respectable,
it's a
a
lot
rank
of
that you can talk about.
yeah. I really hate like to get good at like these defensive things. You have to like learn a lot of timing, and so the easy option is to go into like a training mode and like work on the timing, like practice. Like I don't want to do that. I'm like too monkey brain when it comes to video games to like sit down and like work on my skill. I just want to go in there and like beat my head against a wall and see what happens. And you know, usually it's either like I don't I haven't been like washed in a game yet, but like I'm either washing people or I'm like really fighting
For
uh
your life.
yeah, or I'm fighting for my life out there. It's just there's a lot to learn, and I don't know if I have the patience to learn it because I am an ape.
How I feel about a lot of those types of games. Like there's a lot of
Like,
games that I'll be like, I wish I was good at this game just cause, but also being good at this game would require a percentage of my time that I'm just not willing to commit.
Yeah, it's
a lot of
like
practice.
it is
How's
difficult.
this is totally off topic, but I thought of this thinking of Dragon Ball, obviously. How's the cartel doing? We
How's the
seen our
cartel?
drop. Have we seen our drop in
I
Prime
I don't know
since
if it was
Dragon Ball
I
context
saw
now?
something on Twitter that like cartel crime drop, but like I don't know if that was a meme or not. It was probably a meme. Uh,
I don't know.
but
They do take their Dragon Ball really seriously.
Maybe.
It's just funny to think about, and we've definitely talked about this before. But the connection between new Dragon Ball content and cartel crime is like a fun concept. I hope it's accurate. Like, I hope it's real. That just sounds so
What, like
funny.
more
There's
content
actually
equals
I
more
So
found an
crimes?
article.
people say especially that there is a correlation between um when new Dragon Ball content comes out and a drop off in um Mexican cartel activity.
I just found an article about it actually. Does Dragon Ball really reduce cartel activity? No, this is anime journalism right here. Thank you, Brett
Yes, thank
Cadero
you.
or Cardero
Let's
from
go.
CBR for writing this article. Let's see. So the key takeaways at the top here. The claim Dragon Ball episode releases lower cartel activity in Latin America is a meme that gained steam following Dragon Ball Super's finale in Mexico. Contrary to the theory presented in the meme, there doesn't appear to be any direct correlation between drug-related crime rates and Dragon Ball releases in countries like Mexico.
Damn, I'm disappointed.
And the last key
It's
takeaway,
like
Dragon
the
Ball may not have a direct impact on cartel crime
no.
rates, but its
It's
positive influence continues to help people all over the world fight through their own personal battles.
there's a we learn like correlation is not equal to causation, right? Like in like economics or statistics. There's like a website full of like uh things that are correlated but not like obviously not one causes the other, right? So there's like one that's like the sale of ice cream and like crimes, they're like correlated, right? So like someone who doesn't know correlation doesn't equal causation, they think like selling more ice cream means like
Means
there's
less
more
crime.
crime. But it's just like
Yes.
more crimes happen in the summer because you're like more likely to be outside. So and ice cream sales happen in the summer more often, right? So that's like the whole because like the second you mentioned the cartel thing versus like Dragon Ball content, I was like, okay, correlation does not equal causation. Like you're talking to a
Okay,
statist here.
but
No,
like,
I know, and but
no,
yeah,
no, no. Understand that I am also like very well versed in
yeah,
statistics.
no,
But
I agree. I was just
the
that was
thing
the
with
first thing I was thinking.
correlation and causation too,
Yeah,
though,
for sure,
is
for sure.
the point of that whole argument is the fact that, like, in the example you're using, ice cream sales is not the reason why that
Yeah,
goes
yeah.
down.
No,
It's the
I mean,
season of
yeah,
the
I
year.
agree. It like could be. You never know. For the Dragon Ball thing, like, yeah, I don't know. Could be.
The Dragon Ball meme is funny,
It
but
is funny. It is
the
funny. It
fact
is funny.
is,
Yeah.
if it was as accurate as the memes say, there was, in theory, it would have be
Yeah,
directly
yeah, it would be.
connected to Dragon Ball because of the randomness of, like, a media series'
Yeah,
output,
that would
right?
be really funny. That'd be kind of cool, actually, low key.
Now, what it would, if this was the example that we were talking about, what would be a correlation versus causation argument would be if it was like Dragon Ball episodes release in Mexico on Sundays and
True.
cartel crimes go down on Sundays.
Yeah,
That would be an interesting argument for what you're saying,
it
because it
would
could
be. It would
also
be.
just be maybe Sundays they just don't have activity,
Yeah, you never know.
and it
I
has
have no
nothing to
idea.
do with Dragon Ball.
I'm not well versed in cartel crimes. I can tell
Yeah,
you.
I'm not. There's probably some people you have to go ask about that.
I don't. I'm not in contact with.
I'm giving the example of how, like, interesting it is
It would be funny.
in the scope of that argument, because it would depend. Sadly, it sounds like everything I know is a lie, which is valid. Because it was kind of a silly claim to begin with, but because it was a silly claim, I also feel like it would have been fun if it was true. I just love the concept of, like, bunch of just hardcore cartel members just like, all right, guys, the new Dragon Ball game's out. We're gonna take 2 weeks off.
That'd be pretty funny. I would
I
think
think
that.
that's so funny.
Yeah,
Oh, that'd be.
so looking at the numbers, apparently, the opposite effect actually might have been happening. So apparently, from 2014 to 2018, which is Dragon Ball Super's run, Mexico actually saw an increase in cartel activity every year. So
Uh-oh.
that
Yeah, but do they not see an increase in cartel activity every year?
I mean, yeah, but like it was
Like,
like steadily
yeah,
going
yeah,
up. So okay, let's see. The biggest screening events for Dragon Ball Super and its greatest rise in popularity came in 2018 when the series finale was released. However, according to figures released by the Mexican government, homicide had increased by 15% in 2018 from the year before. So that's pretty big increase. 15%.
Interesting. This feels like a correlation causation argument, but
I mean, perhaps. However,
only because of me saying like the crime rate in terms of cartel crimes consistently goes up every year, as far as I know. But if there is a an abnormal bump, that does say something. Maybe not related to Dragon Ball, but
yeah, I don't know if it's abnormal or not, but it definitely didn't like stop crime or anything.
yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of like the first 2 weeks of the NFL season, the Saints won in New Orleans for 2 weeks, didn't see a single homicide somehow, and then
Yes,
Oh, I
I
remember
do
that. I remember
remember. I
that.
do remember that.
and then like just and then like they lose and immediately like goes back to normal basically. Like it's very interesting. Uh, I don't know. I
See,
feel like
that one's a fun case study because that is a random abnormal blimp that's also like hard to attribute to something that's not the Saints winning football, but also it's a little ridiculous to think that the Saints winning football games
Yeah.
would break
yeah.
down the
I
homicides.
mean, you never know because I think also during when the Phillies were in the World Series, I think crime went down considerably and during that period of time. I don't know what happened after they lost. I would imagine crime very much went back up, but I don't know. It's just funny.
Yeah.
Anytime there isn't, we don't need logical arguments or anything. I choose to believe that
Absolutely
for
not.
17 days, the Saints were the reason that New Orleans did not have a single murder.
Maybe they should
I would
start
agree with
winning
that.
again.
Yeah,
Stop looking for that.
the way this game is going right now on my TV screen with the Saints versus the
We
Broncos,
don't.
there's probably gonna be a few dead bodies tonight.
Prayers out to New Orleans. The way this game is going tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did take the Broncos spread though, so sorry to the Saints. This was a very foreseen outcome.
None of you guys are watching Dragon Ball Daima, right? I'm just asking this because one of my friends mentioned he was
No.
watching it.
Not.
Yeah, okay.
I
I don't
haven't
know.
even seen Dragon Ball, so it
Yeah,
would be
fair.
funny but weird if I was
Yeah,
watching
no.
Daima.
I was just curious. One of my friends said he's watching it. I don't know what his opinion of it is so
Yeah,
far,
I
but
mean, I love Dragon Ball.
yeah,
I just like I look at Daima, I'm just not interested.
fatigued.
It
I
just
mean, I
sounds like
guess it's
it's
just like
also like
I don't know. I'm just not interested in the premise. Like everyone becomes kids again. Woo! I mean, like I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't really. I'm not here for that. I would
Is
like
it
to
is
it
it
also
like
just
canon
sounds like
within the
it
story?
has.
I
So
have
that's what
no
I was gonna
idea
say.
if it's canon
It
or not.
sounds like it has a weird position in like the theoretical timeline.
Yeah, no, it's in a
Because
very odd place.
obviously GT is non-canon. We know
Yeah.
that, and this is kind of just like where GT in theory is in the timeline,
Not really.
but
Daima
kind of
takes
not.
no, so Daima takes place after the Buu saga, but before Super.
Yes,
Mm.
So I just
which is
it
where
technically
GT was.
could be canon, but like its events are never referenced or anything like that. Um, I don't think it's gonna be canon. I not that
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know who would even decide that unless it like gets mentioned in Dragon Ball Super at some point that it's just not. It's probably just not
yeah, I
canon.
think that would be what it would take is for it to actually be tied into the series
I just don't foresee that happening.
retroactively.
Dragon Ball does like to do things retroactively, but I don't believe that will be the case.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know.
I haven't heard a lot of people talk about it, so I don't know if it's
No,
being
yeah, I
received
legit didn't.
well or
I mean, Dragon
I
Ball
mean,
fans like it, but I think Dragon Ball fans
yeah,
are always gonna like it, so I don't really know. Like,
it's
I don't know. I haven't
yes.
seen anyone who like is like not a Dragon Ball like super fan like talk about it, and so I don't know
To
if
be
it's.
fair, are there a lot of not Dragon Ball super fans that are going to be watching the essentially Dragon Ball GT remake?
I mean, GT remakes is a strong way of putting it, but
I know, but that's like for the people who aren't hardcore Dragon Ball fans. That's what this feels like. Like I've seen that opinion around a lot.
I see. Yeah, I mean no, but yeah, I don't see it's gonna be like 30 plus episodes. I don't really feel like being invested in that for something I'm not particularly interested in, so I can't
Hmm.
I can't be the judge on this one. I don't feel like watching it, and so I won't.
Yeah, that's fair.
It
I'm
also
just
means
curious.
I can't really shit talk it, but
Yeah.
it's a whole different thing entirely.
I wonder like if Dragon Ball will like ever end. Like I don't know, man. This is just feels like
I
there's
mean,
always something.
I don't know. At some point, I feel like you have to. Like, you just start running out of room to do shit at some point, right?
I
Um,
mean, the story at this point, literally part of the power system is just like death gods of the
we are
universe.
literally at like the top, like literally at the very tippy top of like power scaling at this point. There's really
Yeah.
nowhere for this to go. I feel like I say that, but they're just gonna like
Like there's only so
here's
many
new
times you could introduce,
villain.
yeah, you could reintroduce the top of the power scale.
Here's new villain, here's new power up for Goku and Vegeta, and everyone else will continue to fall to the wayside. I mean, I say that, but like Piccolo and
It's like
Gohan got
hard
transformed
to
into
imagine. Yeah. It's like hard to imagine, but it's like obviously top of the power system right now is what, like Beerus level?
higher than that. It's like
Even higher than that? Okay.
his like an angel attendant is like well above him, I believe.
Gotcha.
Whis. So, and then
But
obviously
that's the
there's
thing.
like
So it's like, okay, sure, maybe we get a random villain that scales above that at some point. But even then, it's like, at that point, then it's every known character.
and I don't
Who's,
feel like any villain or anything is going to scale above that unless like another angel becomes like a villain.
yes.
So it's just like I don't know. At what point can you like truly say that like Goku and Vegeta still are in a god level, even though they like are probably pretty close at this point? Like I don't know. Power scaling is just goofy and dumb, and it's just at some point it has to spell the end of Dragon Ball, but they are going to, by golly, they will fit as much as they can
They
in.
will find as far as they can.
They will find a hole in the timeline that has not been explored, and they will explore it.
How many Super Saiyan forms do we still have left in us?
They're just literally making shit up at this point, and people eat it up, which like it's whatever. But because like the Gohan and Piccolo forms, dude, like oh my goodness. Like for so many years, like Gohan with like white hair was like such a big meme, and then they actually made it a form, and now it's like, okay, where do we go from here? They gave Piccolo a big orange form. Like what? It's just so goofy. I don't know. Which like I don't know. I mean, I like Gohan, so I knew Gohan form. That's cool, but like he also looks kind of dumb in it. I'm not gonna lie.
I have not seen it, so
Hold on, let me
I just
let
saw
me.
Orange Piccolo. It's
His
very
hair is
interesting.
just so fucking big. It's
Orange Piccolo
insane.
sounds funny just hearing
It's
it.
it's
Okay,
troll,
so
but it's
here is this is Beast Gohan. Look at his fucking hair, dude. It's so big. It's
dude.
just so
This is next
dumb
level.
looking. And then Piccolo. I don't even know what they call his orange form. I'm just gonna call it Piccolo Orange. Oh, it's still just called Orange Piccolo. Okay.
I mean, that's the naming convention for a lot of the forms, right? Got like Goku Black, Goku Blue.
Well, Goku Black is like an entirely different guy.
He looks like the Thing. Goku Black, the entirely different guy.
Goku Black
What?
is a Goku from another universe that was killed by a god, and then his body, or no, it wasn't even killed by. So the god from a different universe saw Goku's power, and he's like, he can't do that, and so he got the Super Dragon Balls, which are Dragon Balls that were introduced because they need to keep
Wait,
scaling
we
things
power
higher.
scaled Dragon Balls
Yeah,
now?
Dragon Balls got power scaled to
That's
a
insane.
universal level. So he used this god named Zamasu used the Super Dragon Balls to swap bodies with Goku, and he went to Goku's universe and killed Goku. And then he changed time. He went to Trunks, the future Trunks timeline, and he joined up with that Zamasu, and they are destroying that future. Basically, that's how they got future Trunks reintroduced in Super. They couldn't let my boy rest.
Each Trunks is the best character, so I get it.
So basically, Goku Black is just evil Goku, except it's not actually Goku.
Yes.
It's not a form or anything.
Yes. Okay.
Goku Black actually has his own Super Saiyan form, which is Super Saiyan Rose, which is like pink hair.
I see.
Yeah.
I'm still getting over the shock of the fact that we have a Power Skill Dragon Balls. That's funny.
It's so
That is
stupid.
insane. I still
It's
can't
so
get over
dumb.
Orange Piccolo, bro. It looks so wrong.
He looks like the Thing.
Yeah. True, actually.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, good for
I
Piccolo
feel like you
finally
could take
getting
this
a
picture.
power up, but it's just like it's so goofy.
I feel like you could take this picture and caption it, "Mom, I threw up."
Yeah.
Yeah, it is
I don't know.
meme
He's
quality.
just
That's
he's
for
just
sure.
like kind of in the pose.
The face is crazy. His like his mouth. Oh my
That's
god.
their
The Dumb
response
and
when you
Dumber,
said you
bro.
threw up.
He threw up.
It's
No.
just incredibly goofy. And I think Orange Piccolo can get really big too, like compared to that. I actually just found a picture. I don't know if this is from the movie or not because I haven't watched the movie, but
As a
I can
non-Dragon
look at
Ball
his from
fan,
younger.
Piccolo is the most confusing character to power scale in my head without like knowledge of the series. Because sometimes it sounds like Piccolo's strong and sometimes it sounds like Piccolo's fodder.
So Piccolo was like a main villain in Dragon Ball towards the end.
Yes.
Not only a main, I don't know, it's complicated. His dad
A
was the main
villain.
villain, and then Piccolo came in and he fought Goku at the end of the series or whatever, and Goku won. But then at the start of Z, he's like around Goku's level basically. But then like the Saiyans come, and then Goku's stronger. But then they go to Namek and Piccolo fused with one of the Namekians there, and that like multiplied his power. So he was like the strongest in the series for a wee bit. Not in the series, but like among our main cast of characters, he was
Yeah.
above like Goku and Vegeta. But then Goku came back, and then Goku was stronger than him. And then there was another point in time where Piccolo, like they're back on Earth, the androids and shit are happening, and Cell exists, and so Piccolo fused with Kami, which is like the god of Earth, basically, a very on the nose name.
Yeah, I
And
was
so
gonna
he got
say.
another power multiplier, and so he once again he was like the strongest on in like the show basically of our main cast. But then he got power scaled once again in the same arc, and then he was just irrelevant from there on out
So
basically.
Piccolo power scales by absorbing other people. That's what I'm getting.
Basically, the only way he ever got to anyone's level is like he just kept fucking absorbing people, and then his power kept multiplying. But he just doesn't have anyone to absorb anymore, so you know.
He's a nepo baby.
He's a little bit of an he. That's one way of putting it. He's a bit of a nepo baby. Inherited power from his strong dad, and then dying Namekian on the ground absorbed him to fight Frieza, and then the fight Cell he had to absorb God. So yeah, that's where we are right now. It's just I don't even know where this power came from. I don't know how he got it, but he does. He has it now.
He
They
ate
like
an
I don't know.
orange.
Yeah, they're just I don't know, and that's probably what happened, dude. They're just making shit up at this point. Like I don't know. I just at what point is it like is it just enough? At what point am I just
I
like
feel like it
oh
was enough before Super. Not that Super is bad, right? Like I don't know anything about the content. It sounds like Super is pretty solid. I'm just I will say I felt like it had a pretty good thing going, and then Super came out, and it's like, oh, we're back.
I actually did not feel Super was particularly good. I would
I
get
mean, that's fair.
obliterated by Dragon Ball fans for that one. Like Super's fun. It's just like I look at they don't like literally playing through the Sparking Zero what if stories. I'm like, this was such a like a much cooler way they could have like potentially done this arc in
Done this.
Super, but they didn't do that. Like they cucked Future Trunks out of like a happy ending, dude. He beat the androids. He killed the androids and Cell in his timeline. Like he's rebuilding the Earth. He's happy, and then they just brought another villain, and then they literally like destroyed his universe, and he had to go to
Yeah.
a different he had to go to a different timeline to go live. It's like what the fuck? Like I just don't understand why this was the move here. Like just let bro live. I mean, it's fun to bring him back or whatever, but you know, I don't know.
At what cost?
Yeah, well, at the cost of, and there's like so many plot, like there's so many plot holes like within the future. Not, I hate saying plot holes. It's not a plot hole. It's just like a logic, a hole in the logic behind everything. Because in so power scale in Dragon Balls again. There's the Earth Dragon Balls, but then there's the Namek Dragon Balls, and they have a cooler
And then
dragon.
there's the Universe Dragon
Yeah, then there's the
Balls.
universe ones, but
Okay.
the Namek ones are the main thing. So in Trunks' future, theoretically, the Namekians are on it. So he doesn't know they would have moved to a new planet because Frieza destroyed theirs, and then they used the Namekian Dragon Balls to get a new planet, basically. But they do, no one knows where that is besides the Namekians. But like having Goku go to Trunks' future, they could have technically, let's say, like, with the cool ending to this arc would have been they beat Goku Black and like have Goku teleport to the new Namek and get their Dragon Balls so they can revive everyone on Earth that got fucked over throughout the years. But they
Yeah.
just don't do that. They just fucking erase the universe, and then Trunks goes to a different timeline to go live. Like, what? I just don't understand.
Like, could you imagine fucking Avengers Endgame, but they just the half of the world that died just.
It ain't gotta be like Endgame style.
Although,
Just
yeah,
break everyone. But, like, it's not difficult. Like the whole thing, be like the whole way you could explain away like not bringing anyone back in their future is like they don't know where New Namek is, which is completely fine. But like you know once you destroy the androids in your timeline and Cell, like go to the past. Like, hey Goku, can you like instant transmission to Namek and fucking help us revive everyone that was murked over the years? It's like I don't know. There's just simple things like that that I just don't understand. Like why? I mean, obviously the reason is the author didn't think of it or didn't feel like doing it. So I mean, I don't know. It's a loophole in the logic that doesn't make sense that exists, which probably exists for a multitude of other things in Dragon Ball. But that's like one of the ones that always sticks out to me. It's like there are a million different ways they could have located these Dragon Balls and changed things, but they just didn't.
Yeah, I don't know. The
yeah, and it's not even like they gave like a satisfactory like why they didn't or
Yeah,
anything. It's
there's
just
it's like it's fine at first, but like when Goku has an ability that can teleport him across the entire fucking universe, and like I just don't. There's just no reason not to. Because that's like one of the. It's like when Piccolo absorbed God on Earth, like that got rid of the Dragon Balls. But the way they fixed that is Goku fucking teleported to New Namek and stole one of their Namekians to make them new ones. Like, that's just they do that, but they couldn't do that for like future Trunks. So it's in the same arc, man. Like, come on.
you just make Dragon Balls.
Literally, just have. I mean, fuck, taking Namekian, like just bring a Namekian over to the new timeline and make Dragon Balls there. Like, why not? Like, I don't think there's anything stopping them. I don't know. A lot of there, like I said, 10 billion ways they could have fixed the future for Trunks, but they just didn't do that, and they fucked him over anyway. After fucking him over, after he got his happy ending, it's just odd to me.
the power
I see.
scaling and all the I don't know. It's just not just the power scaling, but like what you mentioned with like the story. I don't know. I always thought that was like I always get confused by that some of that stuff as a kid, but I don't know. I guess it's probably gotten worse as time has gone on. So
I don't know. People get so uppity over power scaling. It's so funny. Like
yeah,
you'll see different shonen fans compare. Like, well, can your series main character blow up a planet? I'm like, who
He's
fucking
yeah.
I
who
have like
cares?
no interest in that because
My
it's just
goat
all
is planet
hypothetical.
level.
My goat's
Your
planet. Well,
goat's
my
only
goat's
island level.
my goat's universal level. Like, shut the fuck up. Oh my god, you hear yourself talking? Do you see what you're typing out and hit send and like not feel shame to be that stupid? I just don't understand. It makes no sense. Like, imagine if we started like power scaling romances by how many episodes it took for the couple to get
Yeah, I
together or
don't know
something
about
like that.
that.
Like, I just don't understand.
It's coming. That sounds funny.
Wait, that actually does. That's like a yeah. I don't know. It's all hypothetical anyway. It's just like it's just a fun activity. I think for most people, it's like all it is really.
I
It's
do
like
like the and not necessarily a recent trend, but I like that a lot more series at least that I've experienced recently, have experimented with like actually having the rom com couples get together and then like doing part of the story afterwards. And that
Yes,
the
I
length of
like
that
with the
afterwards
it's
varies, but
such an like an odd choice to like have the entire series be about them like getting together and then ending it there. Like I didn't see any of the stuff afterward. Like, and to be fair, like a lot of these like rom com couples like do a lot of like couple-ish things before they're together,
yes.
but it's like I would still like to see the afterward, you
I
know?
would I would still like to see because there is a lot to deal with in the afterward, right?
Yeah,
Like in real life relationships, I feel like the getting together part is almost the easy part.
yeah.
And obviously you don't need to deal with all of that type of stuff in anime rom-coms, but it's still like I don't know. I've always felt like there's a lot to deal with there, and I only feel like it's been recently that a lot of series have said, you know what, we're gonna actually get our characters together and then spend a little time with them at least before we end.
Yeah, like I mean, at this point, I'm used to like waiting 10 billion chapters. I just want 10 billion chapters afterward of
Yeah.
like I want the satisfaction of knowing that like I waited for this and here we are, basically. And that just doesn't happen a lot. Like I just like look at the fuck if I just type in the romance tag for my list specifically. Um, of all the romances that I'm technically watching, can see like two, well, three, like three. I haven't even finished some of these, so I can't really say. I guess I just really look at the completed ones. Like with Kaguya, that's what I liked about Kaguya. I feel like half the manga was like getting to that point, and then half the manga was
That
afterward.
point.
Yeah. Uh, so that was nice. I feel like one of the I don't know how many anime like it's like a nice thing with Sign of Affection. Why I like it so much is it wasn't like chapter one or anything, but like pretty quickly things got moving there.
Yeah, I generally like that, and I think like yeah, like you mentioned with Kaguya. Well, I guess I hadn't seen the manga, but like everything, like I would say having more of it be more content be like after they're already in a relationship. I think that stuff is like good. I don't know. It's just
It
for me.
just
I
makes for
prefer that.
more meaningful interactions. I feel like I
Yeah,
just want the satisfaction of seeing what happens afterward, you know,
yeah.
and that just doesn't
It doesn't
particularly
always happen because
happen.
it's always just like a bunch of like meme interactions for like 20
Yeah.
episodes until someone decides to do something. Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that happens way too much. I mean, I get the appeal for like people who are watching it, but it's just like
I mean, I get like it. Not even just that. Like the reason it's probably like that is you need to make the manga like go on for a little bit.
sure, yeah, it
And so
contributes to
obviously
it. Yeah,
you tiptoe around the relationship, and then it happens, and then either you're like, all right, I'm done, out of ideas, or you can like continue for a bit longer. I don't know. I'm a little
yeah.
surprised that a lot of them don't go longer. Um, just because like I feel like once you do finally hit that point, like people who are reading are probably hooked in and very ready to continue reading.
Hmm.
I'm sure some of it is just also kind of what like the author considers, quote, the end
The
game,
end, yeah,
right? If the idea is because some of these like Takagi, for example, which I've never watched, I know nothing of, but I can see in the author's head being like, well, the end game of this is just the culmination of their interactions into becoming a couple, whereas in like something like a Kaguya, maybe it's like, well, the end game is the two of them getting together, but it's also like the two of them, finding and doing what they want to do for the rest of their lives as well, right?
yeah. At least with Takagi, the author was like, you know what? What if I just like made a spin-off series where we're already done, like the other series are
Yeah,
already done, you just
which is
complete
just
this.
funny.
Yeah. I just like seeing the progression because you get attached to the characters. You want to see more of them, and
Yeah.
so when it's just like, all right, here's the thing you've been waiting for, and we're done. That's it. It's over. You're done. No more. It's just very unsatisfying. Takes my
It's
satisfaction and
why,
rips it away
yeah,
from me.
it's why almost all shonen like romance ships just never quite feel good
That's never
because it's
happened
like,
anyway. They'll tease
well,
it for
that's the other
200
thing too,
chapters and
right?
then not happen.
But it's they all just are kind of like either they don't happen and they're teased for forever, or it's like we don't actually get them until the very end because it's like, hey, we're dealing with the shonen shit, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. I tweeted this when My Hero ended, because there was a discussion around like shipping and like romantic subplots, stuff like that. And I fucking hate romantic subplots that don't like conclude. Like it's
Yeah, yeah.
just
My
such a
Hero, as far as I know, concluded exactly zero of any romantic subplots it had.
yeah. No, it's just so frustrating when it's like this. If you're going to make this a part of a character's identity, you better fucking follow through with it because it's just annoying to like be invested potentially in like a romantic subplot and then it's just like, oh nope, that never happened. Like
It just felt like,
it's a
because
cheap it's a cheap
assume,
way to write a character.
yeah, I assume one of the main characters you think of is Uraraka. Um, I think a lot of people would, but it was weird because I always felt like Uraraka's like character arc with that was also like supposed to, or at least it felt like it was supposed to be trying to be about her kind of like getting away from that too. But then she never really did either.
I think like the main because I know it like moment like there's a moment in I think it's season 3 when they're doing their license shit and she kind of like tucks the feeling away is that or what's what her internal
Yes.
monologue says. So the way I took that was like during like learning to understand like right now this isn't important basically.
Yes.
But it was still like a lot of her character arc revolved around romance and they didn't do anything with
And
it.
they never really did anything in either direction, right? Like
Yeah.
you had that stuff in season 3, but it's not like they also ever like forcibly made her just get over
Yeah,
it,
they never put a pin
right?
in it basically. Like it just never concluded. And that happens a lot in anime where there will be a romantic subplot and it will be a large part of a character's identity and then they will just not do anything with it and it's like well that's just dumb. It's
Yeah.
Yeah,
just
at this point,
it's like
why
oh what do
was
I
it a subplot?
why even make the character like you have nothing interesting to do with this character, why have them exist just to be like to dangle keys, like dangle the romance keys, like there's no point in doing that. Like it's just disingenuous to write something like that. um so there's gonna be a very like specific example, but Tanaka-kun is always listless has something like that where one of the characters is like into the main character and it's like a lot of her personality is and stories revolve around that, but like I don't know. I haven't read the manga, but I feel like I looked it up and I'm like, does anything actually happen with this? Because I didn't feel like reading the manga, but I wanted to know like, did they actually like go
You
through
wanted to
with
know
it?
if, yeah,
And I don't think they did. So it's like, why? Like this whole character was like,
whole character exists for this purpose.
yeah, and I mean not like entirely for that purpose, but like they don't do anything with it. Yeah, I don't know. It's just goofy. If you're gonna make a character, especially if you're gonna make a character with a romantic subplot, then do something with it, or don't. You know,
Conclude. Yeah.
or just, yeah, just don't do it at all. I don't know,
Yeah.
one or
That's
the
fair.
other. That's why
I
it's
kind of
probably
agree. I mean, there is a fun little argument to be made that like in real life people have crushes all the time that don't necessarily
well,
have
yeah, but
things get done
this
with
real
them.
life isn't
But
a
yeah,
story.
yeah,
I'm not trying to watch anime for real life, bro.
I know it was just a thought I
I
had,
know.
and I
I
was
know.
like, well, to be fair, that like quote
Yeah,
romantic subplots in real life also aren't always necessarily resolved. So
Well, in real life, not everybody has like anything like anime. You could like look at any anime. It's like, oh, in real life, this would could happen, and it's like, oh, would this plot happen in real life?
Listen,
Would
in
PG harem
in
happen in real life? No, it wouldn't.
in real life, we can just go to New Namek and make new Dragon Balls. All
We
right.
can go get the Dragon Balls, and we
There
can
we go.
wish. We can make a wish for all romantic subplots to be resolved in anime.
So the Dragon Balls grant any wish, or is there
Any
restrictions?
wish within the power of the dragon.
Okay, so there's
And
restrictions, but
then
it's kind
there's
of
also like,
vague.
so I mean it's like there's unexplained arbitrary rules behind the Dragon Balls. So like the Earth Dragon Balls initially before they got remade could only revive a person. You get one wish and you only get to revive a person one time. But
Okay.
then the Dynamic Dragon Balls, you can revive whoever the fuck you want as many times as you want. Um, and you get 3 wishes. But like that dragon could only bring back like one person at a time.
You can
And
revive one
but like with the
person
Earth
as
Dragon
many
Balls, you can
times.
do as
Yeah.
many people as you want in one go, as long as they haven't been revived before. So
I'm
there's
glad
like,
he cut me off because I was gonna say something stupid for content, and now I've lost the moment, and it's fine. No one ever needs to know what I was gonna say.
in my existence, I never stopped talking, but so made Discord like we're just gonna pretend no one got cut off.
Yeah, it's interesting. So then, in the scope of real life, if you had Dragon Balls right here,
Mhm.
what would your wish be?
Okay. Well, if I had the Dragon Balls in real life, so that's a very difficult because like if you think about it, if there are Dragon Balls in the real world, if I wish for the ability to find the Dragon Balls, right, and then I
Hmm.
just have to wait a year, and then I get another wish. And I can just keep doing that for the rest of my life,
And
and
you
I
could
can
just have more
accumulate
wishes.
as many wishes as I want.
This feels like the passive income argument.
It is passive.
Like,
It's like, would you rather get a penny a
would you
day
rather
or
have a penny a day or $10 million? And then the fucking dude bros are like, listen, a penny a day is passive income, and then someone who
That
actually
I
knows
never
math
like that
is,
argument's so
yeah,
troll.
someone
You
who
did
actually
what though?
knows math comes in and is like, okay, but you would have to live for 137 years to make $1 million from a penny a day,
Oh
or
my god.
something like that, right? I love those meme posts. That's what that reminds me of. Even though this is like much more sound,
yeah, this is like a
the
logical
concept.
argument that I'm making right now instead of like I'll take a penny every day the rest of my life instead of $10 billion right now. All right, here's a. Would you rather have a penny a day or $10 billion that you have to put on a sports bet?
And one single sports bet. Does it have to be a parlay?
Well, let's make
Or
it
just
a three.
one?
Let's make it a 3-leg parlay.
Do I get time to like wait for the perfect bet, but I can't access the money?
You have one sports season to make the bet.
Okay.
Can it be like a non-risky one, like something where
You can
like
make it whatever you want,
Yeah,
but like in
yeah, then
gambling,
I
it's
would take the
always it's
billion
always
dollars.
risky.
you could do
Sure.
like bet on the Celtics to beat the Hornets or some shit.
Yeah, I would
And
bet it
that
on the safest
that's
thing
fine.
possible.
That's why we made it a 3-leg.
Any given Sunday,
So
I think
okay,
that's I think that's valid to make it a 3-leg.
yeah.
What would be the best, like the optimal sport for that? I wonder.
I'm gonna be like
Because
college
like
football.
football's tough. College
College, yeah,
football
college
might
football
College
be
is
football would be that one.
early college football season might be pretty easy.
Okay, you know what? New
Imagine
rule.
it's the year is 2007. You are looking at college football. You decide that one of your three
I know what
bets
you're gonna
for this
say.
is going to
I know
be
what you're gonna say.
Number one Michigan versus
Knew it. I
Appalachian
knew
State.
it.
Yeah,
Of course.
new rule. You can if it's a college football bet, then you have to put 10 legs on it, and you can only use 5 ranked teams against
Okay,
unranked teams.
now we're balancing. I
Yeah,
understand.
we're power scale it, or we're
If
balancing
I bet
the
on
which
if I
team.
bet on one team to win the championship at the beginning of the season, can I only do that? I think that's balanced.
I mean, that's more fair. Yeah, you never
Like
know.
if I just put a bet at the beginning of the season that like the LSU Tigers are gonna win the national championship.
I
By
mean,
the
you'd
way,
lose
I
$10
fucking
billion.
lost. Yeah, I was gonna say. By the way, I fucking lost. But just to give an example, like then I would be able to have that one single bet, but it's much riskier maybe than like a decent like 3-leg or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's
like I
very
said, I would just bet on the safest thing.
By the
very
way,
dumb
for
strategy.
everyone listening who's keeping up with Daniel's increasing sports gambling addiction, he's being enabled. So
It's not increasing. It's just it's every NFL season comes around. That's when it like reactivates, you know? Like
Ooh, the
I don't
neurons.
I don't do sports bets for anything but the NFL,
Oh,
basically.
okay.
the problem is now he's up. So
Well,
pay attention to riskier
I'm
bets.
always up. I'm always up.
Oh, okay.
I'm never down. I'm just waiting.
See,
My
this is
next
why
big
Well,
win.
I
it's
bet
perfect.
low, but I have like big like
Yeah,
parlays, and
you
so
do these crazy parlays.
I do. And so eventually, you know, once it finally hits, then I'm very big up, you know, like
There you go.
yeah. Anyway, my friend like had this like master plan. I mean, it's not it's like a very like logical like increase. Like you just bet on like something very simple with like a lot of money. Like you put a lot of money down on the bet, but it's very like easy get like
Yeah.
fucking one guy gets hits his over on yards or something. You just keep doing one easy bet until your money continuously expands. But obviously you're putting all your eggs in one basket. And
Yeah, it's like easy is
Eventually,
somewhat
you're also
guaranteed,
gonna
right?
easy is subjective too, but eventually you're gonna lose
yeah, exactly.
by
That's the
that
point.
logic, right?
It's just like you're
And then
risking
once
a
you
lot
do
more.
lose, once you do lose, then it's done.
Exactly.
Like I understand if you bet on LeBron James to score 10 points in a night, 95% of the time you're getting it. But the time that LeBron only scores 8,
I mean, LeBron would
then
never
it's
score
like
8, but like what if he plays like enough of the game, has like 8, and then he
if he
gets
gets
injured?
hurt, yeah,
Because like with sports gambling, it like depends on when in the game they get hurt if they void the bet or not. Um,
yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
right,
I
yeah.
say that, but it
That's good
feels a
to know
little
that they do
inconsistent.
void it eventually,
Well, it depends because like
or
there was
under certain
it was
conditions.
the
Yeah,
Seahawks versus the 49ers where the 49ers running back got hurt, and in the second half he came in for one play then left again, and they still voided it. But like in another game, like the following week, James Conner, the running back for the Cardinals, got hurt pretty early, like in the second quarter, I think. But they didn't void him, and so I don't know how it works. I think Vegas is probably like totaling their numbers. Like, will this? How much will this cost us if we void this?
yeah.
You know, like will someone's parlay hit because we void this player specifically? So I don't know, but yeah, I don't know.
I'm not
Do you
done with
think that
sports.
Dragon Ball had? I feel like we've had this conversation. I 100% feel like we've had the conversation I'm about to say. But do you feel like Dragon Ball had like an intense gambling scene, like in universe?
I mean, probably like for the world tournament, maybe. Like, I don't think
That's what I'm
anyone's
thinking.
that no one knows about like the hijinks of like our main characters, but so they can't really
Yeah,
draw that. But
I just think of how many like random tournament arcs and shit that like at least in my head there is in Dragon Ball. I don't know if that's accurate. I just feel like in my head there's like 3 different tournaments that happen.
I mean, like the Dragon Ball world is like very martial arts dominated, so there's probably a
Yeah.
lot of games and matches going on. I would imagine there's a very heavy gambling scene in the Dragon Ball
I
world.
want to meet a character in Dragon Ball. Not that I watch Dragon Ball, but I want to meet a character in Dragon Ball that's like the just a gambling addict.
What are they gonna do with that?
I don't know.
Are you gonna fight Goku?
I I want him to just be like
Goku
trying to
fights
rig
gambling
matches or
addiction.
something. I don't know.
Well, rigging matches, maybe that could have been an interesting plot line years ago when Dragon Ball was still airing, the original, but I
Yeah.
think we're a little past that, though. We moved on. Dragon Ball is actually no longer tournament scale, it's a Super Universe tournament scale, so...
Okay.
The fucking Super could have a tournament arc with like a god gambling addict or something. Surely. I don't know. I don't fully understand what they're doing in Super. It feels like a
I
tournament,
mean,
but
if you,
not a tournament.
I mean, there were two different tournaments in Super. There was one between Universe 7, which is our universe, and then Universe 6, which is Beerus has a brother, and he is the god of Universe 6. So they had a tournament between their fighters, and then the little blue guy who can destroy universes, the
Yep,
snap a finger or whatever. He
the
saw
most
that
powerful
tournament,
character to
and
exist.
he's like, "Oh, that's cool." And so they
He's
held
like,
one
I want my own.
and so he held one between, I think is it 11 universes? I don't remember. 12 max. I think it's 11. I don't remember. I know it goes at least up to 11.
I know about this.
Yeah.
This is
So
what
like
I'm thinking
any
of. Is
any
just all
universe
the
that loses
universes.
just get erased.
Yep.
I mean, they brought them all back with the Super Dragon Balls anyway, but that happened.
Spoilers.
That wasn't really gambling though. Like there's you had to enter the tournament. There was no choice. It wasn't like, hey, if you enter this death tournament, you can win the Super Dragon Balls. It was like, you're going to enter this tournament, and whoever lives gets the Dragon Ball.
Yeah, imagine if one of the gods of those universes was just like a degenerate gambler about it.
Yeah, well, it's just not what happened. So, I can't
Yeah,
imagine, actually.
I mean that's fair.
The goofy part is that, like, if
What do you think a Dragon Ball parlay would look like?
I don't even want to, I don't
Wait, what's the
know,
currency in Dragon?
Zenny.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like a real currency, I don't know. It'd be, I don't know, dude, just bet money on. I mean, it's like just fighting, like who wins. That's all you can bet on. You can only bet on the money line. Like there's
Over
nothing else you can do.
over under 150 key blasts from in this
Yeah.
battle.
Over under on Kamehamehas used.
Oh,
Time lasted could be fun,
Time
right?
lasted, yeah. The Dragon Ball fights move so fucking fast that like how long did the Tournament of Power last? Let's see. Tournament of Power episode count. The Tournament of Power has 55 episodes with 35 focusing on the fight. So for 35 episodes, they fought for, quote, 48 minutes.
Okay.
So that's just how fast they're moving. It takes 30. It takes 3 cores of anime to get through this tournament. Which is
Interesting.
interesting. I don't know. There's a lot went on there. They fucking, I don't know. Tournament Power was a interesting time for Dragon Ball because everyone's so hype over Ultra Instinct Goku, and then like his opponent is the most like basic fucking copy paste character of all time, who's supposed to be
Really?
like the strongest ever. Like, look at this motherfucker. Hold on.
let me see this.
This is the strongest guy ever, right here. This fucking guy. He's literally the AL Mio guy, but like
Dude,
as a
he
Dragon Ball
actually is.
character.
Wait, this.
And he has such a
Bro, like
shitty.
Mr. Clean and an alien, bro.
He has like a dog shit backstory. It's like you'll never understand how I feel, and it's like the typical anime. Like the power of friendship isn't good. It's the strength that's all that matters. And then he gets beaten by the power of friendship. So
Of course.
We love power of friendship in this family.
the amount of times that like characters quote "I'm out of energy" in this tournament, and then like spontaneously had more energy to spare was just like insane. It was just so poorly written, but like the hype factor around it.
I
Just
feel
completely
like
surpassed that.
Dragon Ball has built in the power of friendship via the fucking spirit bomb.
At least that's like a
So
more interesting way of doing it, where like everyone like gives physical energy to Goku to
yeah,
kill someone with, rather than like you're my friend, and he's like, "Bruh," and then fucking, I don't know.
I'm just saying that like it does literally have a power of friendship power.
Yes, but it's like a more understandable power, friendship power, than like in Fairy Tale when Ursa brings out that armor that is like powered by friendship, and I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Or when they one shot the final villain of Fairy Tale in one hit because they had the power of
Listen, we
friendship.
don't talk about the last arc of Fairy Tale. Doesn't count. Never happened.
I'm pretty sure it happened actually.
No, it did not happen.
This isn't
100
like
Quest is gas.
this isn't like season 2 of Promised Neverland. You can't pretend it doesn't exist.
I can.
Because
It has its own season. Fairy Tail final season doesn't exist.
Yeah, the lead up to 100 Years Quest isn't real. They
You just
dreamed
go
it.
straight to 100-year quest. You don't need to know what happened with Zeref and Acnologia. Those aren't important characters.
I mean, clearly not, because they fucking one-shot them. Or
I
one-shot
want to say.
Actology anyway. I don't remember what the fuck happened to
I was
Zeref.
gonna say. I want to say Zeref had a fairly like
I think he might have got a one-shot
fair.
too, I'm not gonna lie. I don't
I don't
remember.
know. I don't remember for sure. I don't want to say. I felt like the Zeref fight was not like a fight in the same way that like most of the rest were. Maybe that's why it feels weird.
Yeah, I don't remember. All I know is that he did die and lose, but I don't think he got one shot. But he did not go down hard. It did not take a lot. I don't feel. It's been a while since I've read that.
I
I
think
don't
by
know.
the time I got to that, I was kind of just like, guys, I'm ready to go. Please, just finish me.
Yeah, well, you can't be finished
At the
actually, because
same
Fairy
time,
Tail doesn't kill characters. So
yes. At the same time, freaking I think I was also at the same time Fairy Tail ending, I was reading the end of Seven Deadly Sins, which was also pain every week to read. So I was not in a great headspace with ending series regardless. It was a rough time period.
yeah. Speaking of time
Yeah.
periods, the time period for this episode is ending right now because I have work tomorrow and I want to go to bed. So
Oh,
we are an hour and a half in though, so we're chilling. We had this conversation has very much gone places I never could have expected.
Dragon Ball apparently is like the topic.
Yeah, we went from
But
Dragon Ball, then we like spun into romance, and then we spun back to the
sports
Dragon
betting.
Balls, and then sports betting, and then yeah, it was a tangent
sports
of all
betting in
time.
Dragon Ball, and then
Yeah, and then the end of the episode, which is happening right now. If you like this episode, like, comment, subscribe, blah blah blah. Rate 5 stars. Fuck it. I let you all do the intro the past 2 weeks or the outro.
Yeah,
Now I'm
and
off
now
my
you've
game.
forgotten it
I'm like
yourself.
off my game. If you're on the YouTube side of things, you'd like go to the audio only. I'm not fixing the links, so you can just look us up on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc. Is the Order and Anime Podcast? We're the only one. Same thing from audio only to the YouTube. Is the Order and Anime Podcast can't possibly miss us. Every Saturday, 3 p.m. EST, without fail, except for when we do, there will be a new episode out for you to enjoy. So once again, thank you for listening, and we will see you in another episode. Goodbye.